But we'll conclude by saying if any of you have any ideas, any thoughts, any suggestions, it's a great moment as we go through the next couple of weeks to offer them. So please approach me or anybody, Hannah Jordan, Mike Sakata, Laura Chavez, Lucy Chavez. I'm forgetting people, but definitely Christine Buchholz, of course. Let us know if you have any ideas, and thank you very much in the meantime.
Thank you, Paul. Next up, we have our recognitions and reports, and welcome back to school.
Yes, tonight is the picture night for you to get together as a board and hold up your FCCPS school board welcomes you back to school sign, so we can put that out. So if you wouldn't mind getting together, John, I think, is going to take your picture, and I'll join you.
All right, we're going to move into our first closed meeting of the night, and I've just been told that we do not have an alternative room for that, so we're actually going to have to clear the chambers. It's a short meeting, hopefully. Well, maybe actually not that short.
It'll be a little longer than normal. I'm guessing it's going to be between a half an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, so
Maybe
I
less.
apologize for the inconvenience.
More like a half an hour.
So, and take a walk, go to the library, but we'll be back. Thanks. Would someone please read us into closed?
Whereas the City of Falls Church School Board has convened a closed meeting, am I reading the right thing? Is that right? Sorry. On this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with, am I in the wrong place? I think I'm too far down too. Where is it though? I apologize. Let me try it again. Pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, I move that the board convene a closed meeting for the following purpose: to discuss or consider the identified subject matter. Personnel under Section 2.23711A1, in particular, staff appointments, staff reassignments, staff resignations, staff retirement, staff performance, staff separation, staff change in position, dependent care leave, long-term medical leave, and child care leave request, advisory committee appointments, and student matters under Section 2.23711A2, in particular, non-resident tuition student and GMP number 2 for the GMHS project.
Thank you, Ms. Litton. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Reidinger. All those in favor? Or no? Yeah. Really tired. All those in favor? Are we doing the?
We can call
Yeah,
off.
okay.
Mr.
It's
Anderson?
not on.
Yes.
Mr. Castillo?
Aye.
Ms. Gill?
Aye.
Ms. Litton? Mr. Reitinger? Ms. Russell? And Mr. Webb? Thank you.
Mr. Webb, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitinger. Would someone please certify the closed meeting?
Madam Chair, in accordance, whereas the Falls Church City School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote, and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.23711B of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Falls Church City School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
Thank you, Mr. Reitinger. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Castillo. All those, sorry, Ms. Goodall?
Yeah. Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Castillo? Ms. Gill?
Aye.
Ms. Litton? Mr. Reitinger?
Yes.
Mr. Russell? And Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is our consent agenda. I would seek unanimous consent to approve the agenda as presented. Great. So it's adopted. Next on the agenda is item 8.01, Proclamation 0219, Falls Church City School Board Bullying Prevention Month, which is October 2019. And I'll turn that over to Dr. Noonan for a little bit about this.
Yes, good evening. Again, thank you very much, Madam Chair. This was a proclamation that has been signed read and then signed annually with respect to bullying prevention. What's nice about this proclamation coming out right now, specifically to our goals here in the system of developing our community of care and culture, is that it falls directly in line with ensuring that we don't have bullying happening in our buildings. As a side note, I don't know if any of you saw the article this weekend about the student who was a University of Tennessee fan, an elementary student, and went home, and the day was to wear your colors of your favorite school, and the boy came to school in a t-shirt, and he had hand-drawn a University of Tennessee logo and put it on his shirt, and unfortunately was bullied in that experience, and the school wrote to the University of Tennessee asking for some swag for the student, and the University of Tennessee went one step further and said, not only will we give the student some shirts, but we also would like to use the student's art as our logo, and any of the sales and proceeds from that shirt we'll give to a bullying prevention program. So it's just a really great opportunity to recognize that there are a lot of really great people out there that are working really hard on behalf of our kids, and those relationships are really important, and we in the City of Falls Church won't tolerate or stand for any bullying. So I'm really proud of this board for bringing this forward, and I know Ms. Russell has been the impetus behind a lot of it. So, Madam Chair, I'll turn it back to you.
Great, thank you. So Ms. Russell will read the proclamation for us today.
Whereas school bullying has become an increasingly significant problem in the United States and Virginia, and whereas over 20% of the youth in the United States are estimated to be involved in bullying each year, either as a bully or as a victim, and whereas an estimated 160,000 students in kindergarten through 12th grade miss school every day due to fear of being bullied, and whereas bullying can take many forms, including verbal, physical, and most recently in cyberspace, and can happen in many places on and off school grounds. And whereas it is important for Falls Church City parents, students, teachers, and school administrators to be aware of bullying and to encourage discussion of the problem as a school community. And whereas the Falls Church City Public School Board encourages positive behaviors to eliminate bullying. Now, therefore, the Falls Church City Public School Board recognizes the month of October 2019 as Falls Church City Public Schools Bullying Prevention Month, with the intention that the issue of bullying and its prevention be discussed in Falls Church City Public Schools and classrooms during that time.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. Okay, and I would now seek a motion to adopt the Proclamation 0219 as presented.
Madam Chair, I move that the school board adopt Proclamation 02-10 Falls Church City School Board Bullying Prevention Month, October 2019, is presented.
Thank you, Mr. Reitinger. Is there a second? Thank
Just
you, Ms.
point
Lee.
of order, it's 02-19.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Liddon. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed or abstained? Great. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is 8.02 FY19 Final Budget Review.
Thank you, Madam Chair, assuming you're turning it over to me. Yeah. This evening, we would like to, actually, I'm going to turn it over here in just a second to Kristen Michael, our Chief Operating Officer, to do the final budget review. And I want to thank her, along with Michelle Kopic, for their extraordinary work closing us out from last year. We are in a pretty strong place as a system. And one of the things that I just want to call your attention to, and I know that Ms. Michael is going to bring it to your attention as well, is that we are continuing to get closer and closer with respect to being right on the money with budgeting based on our projections and enrollment and expenditures. So the work that they have done to look historically at our spending, to be fiscally responsible and responsive has been extraordinary. So I want to thank them publicly for their work. And with that, I'll turn it over to Kristen Michael.
Thank you so much for the opportunity this evening to report the fiscal year 2019 final financial report. I hope when we go through this report this evening that you'll see some enhancements and improvements from our last year's report. And again, we really appreciate your feedback because we're always looking to improve the information that we're providing and increasing the transparency to the community. First, I'd like to echo Dr. Noonan's thanks to Michelle Kopic, our Budget and Finance Director, who's here with us tonight, for all of her hard work. Fiscal year end, of course, is always a busy time in the summer when we're trying to do so many other activities. So I know it's a really heavy lift to get everything done at the end of the school year, and I'd like to thank Michelle and all of the other school staff who helped to make this possible. So tonight what I'm going to walk through is I have information for all three of our school board funds. And we'll start with the operating fund first. We'll also look at the food service fund and our community services fund. All of the data in these reports is data as of this Sunday, September 8th. And it is still subject to the final audit, so we'll still have some more additional small things that we finalize right before the audit gets done. In these reports, all of the comparisons are to the FY19 revised budget. And then I've also included some prior year's comparisons that I hope you find helpful, and those are compared to the final audited budget from fiscal year 18. When I walk through each fund, I'm going to go through, and we have a summary chart for each fund that looks at revenue and expenditure variances compared to the budget. And then we've also provided some other summary funds that I hope you find helpful and information about our fund balance. So the first thing that we're going to look at is our school operating fund. Our school operating fund had revenue that totaled $50.5 million and expenditures that totaled $50.6 million. So as a result of both of those, our school operating fund balance actually decreased by $135,724 this year. Right, that decrease isn't that we overspent. Each year we build our budget, including a use of fund balance, which in our 19 budget was $450,000. So what this shows is that we did end up with a small positive budget, which is exactly what we were looking for as we continue to improve our budget and get better, less variance between what we've budgeted for both revenue and expenditures. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about revenue. When you look at revenue for the school operating fund, again, that totaled $50.5 million. Revenue came in $543,630 less than we had budgeted. The biggest source of variance in that budget is that use of fund balance that I just mentioned. So we always show that as a budget, but we don't actually reflect it. That's the typical way to present that. So that's the largest portion of that variance at $450,000. The next place that you'll see a variance is in terms of state revenue. Our state revenue came in $259,000 less than we had budgeted, and that's really due to two factors. The first is a state technology grant. We had applied for a reimbursement, and that revenue wasn't here at the time we completed that report. Since then, I'm super happy to say we have received that wire, so we do have that revenue. So that's fantastic. And then in addition to that, we saw a slight decrease or slightly less state aid than we had budgeted, and that's due to our final enrollment. So you'll remember each year the state budget is built based on our projected ADM or average daily membership, and then our final budget payments are based upon the ADM for